Hey, what's happening, guys? Dan Darrow here with another options and play video update. So, I think one of like the major, maybe one of the major misconceptions that a lot of people have around earnings is that a stock that's been crazy going into earnings is one of like the better ones to focus on, right? So like a stock that's in huge daily trading ranges. It's been wild price action for a few days, a few weeks, a couple months leading up to earnings. That it's typically, if you're looking for an even bigger move on the actual report. What I find is that when a stock is crazy and having huge moves day to day ahead of earnings, that often means that the option pricing is high, and it also makes it more difficult to figure out what's priced in, right? Because a stock that's parabolic into earnings, good numbers might be priced in, right? Or a stock that's straight down every single day into earnings, bad numbers might be priced in. So it makes it a little bit more difficult. For me, coiled patterns, consolidations. You know, if you've listened to these videos and if you've been on the VTF for a little while, like I love stocks that are in coiled or consolidations ahead of earnings. And the reason is that you have like this tight pattern with a major catalyst, right? Most traders they look at technical levels when determining whether they want to put a trade on, right? So if a stock like UPST, they're saying, okay, was a big mover in the past. Over the last month, it's been really tightening up, right? It's been forming kind of like a wedge pattern on the daily with like the lows increasingly low and or excuse me, the highs increasingly low, and then since the bottom in January, the highs the lows have been increasingly high. So it's getting to like this tight narrow point on the chart. And if you were a trader just looking at a straight technical setup, you'd say like, oh wow, this is kind of an interesting setup. It looks like it's getting close to a resolution of this pattern. If you get a breakout, it could be a nice move on the upside, right? If you get a breakdown, it could be a nice move on the downside. Now, what's even better about this is that UPST reports earnings. So in addition to having a good technical setup, you have a significant catalyst that should trigger that setup, right? So you have people that focus only on technicals that would say like a break could get momentum higher, maybe to the 50-day. A breakdown could get momentum lower, maybe a retest of the previous low. But then you have the earnings as the catalyst, right? And like that's why I loved coiled patterns or consolidations, is because you have so many people that love to buy breakouts, breakdowns, bull flags, bear flags, right? And when you have earnings as the catalyst, it's like a two for one. You get the earnings which trigger the move, and then you got the traders that focus on the technicals kind of piling in when it starts to confirm either that breakout or the breakdown, right? So also too, what can be interesting, and it's not on all of them, but sometimes when a stock goes through a period of a consolidation, that option pricing starts to walk lower, right? The implied volatility starts to contract a bit. And I know that there's earnings, and that means that pricing is typically a little bit higher, but still, if a stock has been very choppy and lacking direction over a month, 2 months, that tends to weigh on option pricing. So, in addition to having a more interesting technical setup, you might also have a more interesting setup just option pricing wise too. Okay, so just food for thought. We're still in earnings season, still plenty of big names due to reports, so plenty of big priced in moves still coming up. So as you're screening for different setups, just something to keep in mind. All right. So if you like this video and you're looking for more information about trading events with options, please follow up with the link in the description of the video for more information on options to play. Have a great night, stay well, and then we'll talk to you all tomorrow.